Dome Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, let's talk a little heavyweight division in boxing, right? We don't got no big fight going on the weekend, right? So, let's see what's going on in the heavyweight division. There's some hot topics going on. Some of them, you probably wouldn't be thinking about. But let's put them on out there. One is we had a discussion, of the fight next week. A lot of people talking about the fight in about 2 or 3 weeks in the heavyweight division. The one next week got the WBC champion Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder against the very extremely dangerous Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz. And he got the name King Kong for a reason, right? So, this fight signed early enough. Ortiz is in absolute great shape. He's got a guy that's strength and conditioning coach, a new one, and he was in working out. He's been doing what he's had to do, and he looks in phenomenal condition, right? And he's like, I'm out to prove I'm the very best heavyweight on the planet. He's not trying to just finagle. I'm trying to beat him, and then they're going to call me the best on the planet, because that's what he wants to prove, right? And he's in great shape. So he also said, that Deontay Wilder is the best heavyweight of the decade, right? From 2010 to 2020, which is going to end this year with this last fight, right? He thinks in his mind, Deontay Wilder is the best heavyweight of the decade, right? I mean, the first thing come to your mind was, no Anthony Joshua, no Tyson Fury, right? But you got to think about them Klitschko's, right? Both of them. Vitaly too now. Vitaly, let's be honest, Vitaly lost to Lennox Lewis, the GOAT in my opinion, and stopped beating up Chris Berg in the 12th or 10th round. Just stopped because his shoulder went out, which I'm pissed off at him now. As rough he is, he can't jab Chris Berg. So Beatty really ain't got nobody to beat him. You know what I mean? Let's be real. So Vitaly, and that's from 2010 to 2014. There's a few fights that left towards the end of their careers. You know what I mean? So it's hard. So it's only 4 years. So it would have to be real hard fights or whatever. I have to check that. But they should be in the conversation. But Deontay Wilder should definitely be up in that conversation and above the other guys that are fighting right now. Even if Andy Ruiz beats Joshua, that'd be close. But if Deontay Wilder beats Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz again, with 42 knockouts and stuff like that, he would be a front runner for a fight of the decade. But in Louis Ortiz's opinion, he is the fight of the decade, and it's up for debate. Who would be. But I just think, for example, Anthony Joshua ain't. You know what I'm saying? For example, he ain't. So that's the bottom line. Because going in on your boy Anthony Joshua, he's got some things going on, right? He's got a hard fight himself, Anthony Joshua, and it's a career defining fight here. From everybody. You're talking about Kubrat Pulev, the mandatory from the IBF, stating that if Andy Ruiz, if he's not lazy because of the fact that all of a sudden he got cars, his mom set up, he's living well everywhere he goes, he's got to take pictures or whatever. If he's can't focus, then that's the only way he feels that Anthony Joshua is going to beat him. If he's focused, and that's why bam, right? Because that's exactly what I'm saying. If Andy Ruiz shows up how he was or better, it's a problem for Anthony Joshua. That's my point. That was not luck at all. And judging from what other people, let's talk like Teddy Atlas, for example. Teddy Atlas, everyone knows, in boxing, people, care about his opinion. He's been doing it for years. But, he's went in on Joshua, and not on purpose. He used to like Joshua, I guess. It probably still does. It just says with the gold medal, bam, that Joshua won in London, 3 of those 4 fights were controversial, right? And they were, guys. They were in London. He got a couple of, gift decisions there. And the first one against Shang Shilei, or whatever his name was, the big Chinese guy, that was controversial. And this is Teddy Atlas talking about that. He was saying, when he got beat by Andy Ruiz Jr., he basically submitted in Madison Square Garden. And he says he's not the only one that believes that. And others, we've heard Deontay Wilder say similar things, right? But, he's just thinking he's not worried about both of them are losing weight. Right, AJ's losing weight, Ruiz losing weight for different reasons. Some are asking if it's PEDs from the AJ getting out of the system, but Teddy Atlas even squashed that. He said, nope, he's been tested enough. Now we know about the therapeutic use exemptions that Dillian White and Jarrell Miller were talking about. That could be going down. We don't know, whatever. But he hasn't been caught and nothing like that. So just leave that out of the thing. Just losing weight, and that's good enough right there. But basically, Teddy Atlas continued. I'll probably put it in the description box. To continue to go in on him, and he was saying, listen, Andy Ruiz Jr. is faster, right? Has better stamina, right? And throws better combinations. It's pretty much everything. And because we know his punch resistance, he didn't have to mention that. Who has the better punch resistance is obvious. So he missed that. Speed, combination punching, right? What was the other one? I forgot it already. But all those, that's pretty much everything. So he thinks he's going to beat him again, right? So, but my point though, here's another point about Ted Hattis. If all this was true, you knew this about Andy Ruiz Jr., you should have been talking about Andy Ruiz Jr. a long time ago. You know what I mean? If we knew about somebody that's got all these attributes on Anthony Joshua, then why was the underdog in Anthony Joshua? And if that were to be true, then, because I think even Teddy Atlas has Anthony Joshua beating Deontay Wilder or something like that, or definitely better. Most people were talking Anthony Joshua was better than Deontay Wilder just 8 months ago. Correct? So that would mean that there's some separation there. Andy Ruiz Jr. got Anthony Joshua on all these attributes and beat him. So, and that means he's way better than Deontay Wilder too. And that means so is Joseph Parker, because Joseph Parker has a win over your boy Andy Ruiz Jr. And that wasn't an accident either, by the way. Just like Andy Ruiz Jr. beating Joshua is not an accident, Joseph Parker beating your boy is not an accident. Even though it was in his hometown, you have to be in a close fight to get a close decision. If your name's not Canelo, you got to be in a close fight. And Joseph Parker was handling his business too. If you just turn it around, Joseph Parker was handling his business good enough to be barely win that fight. So until this turned around, you see what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I have about Teddy Atlas' opinion here. But it seems like there's nobody going to be, surprised if Andy Ruiz Jr. wins again. And another somebody is four-time champ, heavyweight champ Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield just straight up, man, warned him, man, it's going to be the same thing, Joshua. It's going to be the same thing. Basically be careful. And he said he'd been known about Andy Ruiz Jr. a long time ago when he was 46 years old. He tell you the story in a heartbeat. He said, I'm 46 years old. We sparring, the dude's 19. Man, and he's, walking me down, cutting off the ring on me. I'm the heavyweight champion. He ain't supposed to be cutting me off the ring at 19 years old. So he knew then, and it's the only dude, I think I did a video about it, or I mentioned in another video. He said it's the only dude that he don't want to fight no more, even sparring. Like, I ain't messing with him. Them hands be coming, you know what I'm saying? I told you, it's Mr. Discount. You give him one, he'll give you 3 for free. That's what Andy Ruiz Jr. is, so that's basically the general consensus of your boy Andy Ruiz Jr. So Anthony Joshua was up against it. But, having said that, so is Deontay Wilder against Luis Ortiz next week. Time to start getting nervous because you know damn well Luis Ortiz is going to be hard. Both of them have a hard fight. Like I said, it could possibly be Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua for third place because Ruiz and Ortiz handle their business. You don't never know. That's what things can go down. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. Well, the heavyweight division got 2 more things. One more is we're talking about Dillian White, heavyweight contender. Dillian White, right? Dillian White, they talking about his next fight going to be on December the 7th, right? On the undercard of Anthony Ruiz Jr. versus Anthony Joshua, the rematch. His fight, somewhere. And they say they ain't going to be a top 10 dude, but it's going to be somebody kind of respectable. Right? They talking about that. The gall to talk about his next fight without talking about his B sample that has been, I told you. Since July 20th was the fight. That means he was caught on about the 17th of July. Who the hell B sample takes that long? They just hoping that you forget. Here comes a dart to shut me up. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. What's going on the B sample? You know what I mean? But they're talking about a fight. So just don't even listen, but whatever. If he's going to be able to fight without somebody handling and talk about the B sample, then whatever with that. But let me just show you, it could happen. You know what I'm saying? We've seen things happen before. The clenbuterol levels have been lifted because of the Mexican meat just recently, right? So people will do things in the world of boxing. So let's see what happens if that Dillian White fight on December the 7th, and if they're gonna let him come in the ring and don't even mention the B sample. And here's what happens too. Leading up to the fight, he probably ain't gonna be having to do no interviews, or if he's doing interviews, people are gonna be told, don't ask the questions about the B sample. Something crazy like that gonna go down. That's why that's funny. Y'all better address that B sample, or it's gonna be a circus, right? Now let me get to something that should be worthy of a video of its own. This kind of stuff I hone in on, and I'm sorry I'm not even doing a video of this on my own because I roll with the dude, right? But this is heavyweight Michael Hunter, right? Heavyweight Michael Hunter. Small heavyweight, came up from cruiserweight, about 18-0 right now, something like 19, I don't know his record right now, right? And his only loss, 19-1, I think. His only loss is to the incredible Alexander Usyk in the cruiserweight division. Alexander Usyk undefeated too, of course, undisputed cruiserweight king, right? Trying to make his move up to heavyweight, beating Witherspoon. But this guy has been up there about a year and a half or something, and he's just beating, big old guys. The biggest win, I think, Martin Piccoli. People were undisputed, was about to hype Piccoli. Kuzman just beat undefeated Kuzman, big old dude. Speaking of big old dudes, Alexander Ustinov, Maldonado, and I'm probably missing another one. You know what I mean? And this is what he's doing. So he's going under the radar a little bit, but he's about to fight Alexander Povetkin, right? Everybody knows Povetkin now. Now Povetkin, we're gonna fight Povetkin on the undercard of your boys, AJ and them, right? You're gonna fight on the undercard. That's gonna be some exposure. Now, I would only fight that I would rather have seen would have been Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora also. But this fight here is really good with him and Povetkin, because Povetkin don't lose against dudes his size. You know what I'm saying? Povetkin is still Povetkin. Now, we know Povetkin is the dope street boy. You can't be a member of the dope street boy with one issue. Gotta be a few issues. Then you can get into Dope Street Boys. He's in the Dope Street Boys. He's the lead singer sometimes. If you can get Eckhart Tepper to move out the way. Right? But he's in the Dope Street Boys. But he's been, basically tested of late, so we're gonna let him fight. And you ain't nobody gonna be messing with him. The only cruiserweight that gave him a good fight was Marco Huck. Marco Huck arguably beat him. And that's when Povetkin was Povetkin. Povetkin's still throwing down. You notice if he got rid of Huey Fury, David Price, anybody who else trying, the ones who beat him are somebody. AJ got him after being rocked, guys. You know that. And who else got him? Klitschko. I'm talking about Vladimir when Vladimir was Vladimir Klitschko. So he ain't losing to anybody. So this one, don't let it go on under the rug. Now let me just show you. Everybody knows how good Povetkin is. Povetkin just fought a few people. And Povetkin was never the underdog. Okay? Povetkin is a 3-1 underdog versus Michael Hunter. Okay? Now, a guy coming up from cruiserweight, under the radar, nobody's paying attention to, is a 3-1 favorite against Alexander Povetkin. That's a story. Sorry I didn't do a video about it because it's ridiculous, to be honest with you. Why is this under the radar? So those odds is where the things is happening. That's where the truth is. That means somebody knows that he's awesome or something. How you gonna be the same size, smaller? Well, excuse me, smaller than Alexander Povetkin, right? In terms of weight, for sure, and be a favorite against Alexander Povetkin. Who else? Give me some. No, who? Who the hell? Only one maybe is Usyk. Ain't no people the size of Povetkin gonna be a 3-1 favorite against no Povetkin. But somebody knows something. That's respect, people. Michael Hunter, because they done seen him beat up some big guys. They figure out, well, he's getting this stuff done. These people have been beat convincingly. And it's not like he's just going in here and out-strengthening people. He's figuring out how to win. Andre Ward style. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to win some kind of way. That kind of thing, because I got pretty much of everything, and I can adjust. Whatever. Right? That, I thought, was very, very significant. That one, that one woke me up. Bam! Oh, well, because I wouldn't have thought, right, that he would be a 3-1 favorite versus Povetkin. I know Michael Hunter is having his business, and you guys know we documented it here. But that right there shows you the respect this man has, which makes me want to tell you guys, he shouldn't be under the radar. He shouldn't be creeping anymore. This should be a headliner. If he was from any other country, he would be. It's ridiculous. This is a small heavyweight just coming up, beating big old heavyweights, and has offered his service for everybody who needed a fight. Anthony Joshua needed a fight, not recently, right? He was there for that. And someone else, just recently, who needed a fight, right? And he's like, well, me. I think it was Chisora, matter of fact, when Joseph Parker got bit by a spider. He was like, well, oh, I'll fight Chisora. Totally ignored. See what I'm saying? Now, all these 4 fights he's had already, beating these big dudes, and he would have fought Joshua on short notice. They ignored him. And he would have fought Chisora on extremely short notice. Okay, so you add that with what he has done already, that's why he has a 3-1 favorite against Povetkin. A fighter with that much respect should not be under the radar, should not be creeping around. He should be headlining. Let's all recognize. Done with Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.